Alrighty, hello everyone. So my name is Stefan. I'm a media producer, and if you're watching this, you can see there's a couple of people on Facebook on UXL. If you're watching this right now, we're doing a multi-stream. This is going to be a test for UXL's networks to see if we can bring the FCMG producers log to you guys, which is a little chat where we sit down and we kind of we talk about media production, we talk about gear, and we ask questions to each other. I might ask questions for you. How's it going? Hey, bro. I'm getting some comments already. I'm going to pop open the Instagram chat as well. Here we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome if you're catching this on Instagram. And we're also on YouTube, Facebook. We're also talking on Twitch at the same time. There's a couple people already filtering in. So yeah, we're going to be talking about media today. How's it going? Everyone on Instagram, we got a lot of people already popping in on the chats. This is the FCMG producers log. I am a streamer. I kind of talk about media and answer questions about gear, photo, video stuff, all kinds of stuff like that. Hello, everyone. There's tons of waves going on. This is a great community. So yeah. UXL and I kind of teamed up on this thing, and we're doing a little test stream right now to see if it works out, see if we can answer some questions, get some conversations started, just chat about media in general. We're going to be doing some how-tos. We're going to be doing some different types of let's oh, I'm looking at my list. Sorry, I'm getting tons of comments. This is my first time getting like this kind of influx, and it's great. It's lovely seeing everyone here. But yeah, we teamed up, UXL and I. We're going to be doing some lesson content. We're going to be doing some how-tos and some gear talks. So we're going to compare different pieces of gear, and we'll discuss with you your experiences and your your thoughts on these pieces of gear as well. It's supposed to be an open forum for everyone, so we're happy to hear your questions. And as we move on through this, we'll have some segments for answering questions and whatnot. And we also have our friend Ashley over here. She's going to be helping us out with moderating. We got our friends over at UXL too. They're helping us out. And yeah, we'll hear your questions. I just wanted to read a little statement. So because UXL and I have teamed up, this video is sponsored by UXL, Career and Learning Network. Are you interested in learning a new skill? UXL is a leader in providing online training. They host courses from top-rated instructors across the globe. Find courses on just about any subject and join a community of over 500,000 passionate learners. Visit UXL and register today. So yeah, the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about today was the importance of live streaming and how you can use it to connect with your audiences. Ashley's in the chat moderating right there. Feel free to type in your questions. We're going to get some stuff going right away. I've already got actually a question in the chat right now. What's a simplistic setup to get an external HDMI device, PS4 switch, into a PC for streaming when you only have a one monitor setup? Well, there's some really good options out there. Like for instance, I'm currently using, this is more of like a broadcast device. So like if you're into live TV or anything like that, this is the A10 Mini from Blackmagic Design. If we're talking in terms of like film equipment, this is relatively inexpensive. It's around $300. And you can plug in 4 cameras at one time. That's crazy though. So that's definitely outside of that. What I do suggest is this little thing back here. I might even be able to grab it from behind my camera really. No, I'll leave it. I'll show it to you at some point. It's the Avermedia 2 Plus. It's a little device. It takes an HDMI in and also allows you to do an HDMI out. And then it goes into your computer via USB 2, I think. But either way, basically, it's powered by your computer, so it's really easy to power, and you can actually use it when it's not even connected to like the internet to just record your media. So if you're ever playing a game over at a friend's house and you want to just capture the media on an SD card or a micro SD card, that's a great option. You know what? I am gonna grab it for you. This is a perfect opportunity to show off some gear. All right. There we go. So sorry about that. So this is the Avermedia 2 Plus, this little guy right here. We'll get the camera focused on it for our viewers on Twitch and Facebook and all that. This is the Avermedia 2 Plus. This thing has 4K capability, so you can put a 4K signal into it and get your 4K signal out. It only streams 1080-60, but that's, you know, pretty good. It's got a downstream encoder directly in it, so that makes a big difference. A lot of those encoders and whatnot, if you're outputting in 1080p 60, you have to input in 1080p 60. You can't do anything otherwise, and it's going to mess up your stream otherwise. But for instance, like we talked about the Blackmagic design here, the A10 Mini, that's relatively new, came out within the last couple of months. The A10 Mini is around $300, but it also has multiple downstream encoders inside of it. So there's 4 inputs right there. You can put in 4 cameras, which is already like, okay, this thing's a little serious. But they're all HDMI inputs, and you can put in like a 4K signal and output 1080p or 720, and you know, still have that really nice 4K quality. So like on Instagram, you guys are watching from my phone, which is a Note 10. We're finding a way to integrate the chats and all that stuff into Restream, which is our streaming service, our multi-streaming service actually. But in Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, you're watching from an A6400, which is a little mirrorless camera connected directly into the A10 Mini. So this camera has, you know, nice depth of field, and it looks all pretty and stuff like that. Sorry if I just punched the microphone. So it's got really nice depth of field and all that, but this it's shooting in 4K. So it's a 4K signal going into the switcher that's being downsampled into 1080p. That's why it looks, you know, nice and crisp, and you see the little gleams in my eyes and all that stuff. Gives you some really, really nice quality. The other aspect though is like you have to keep those cameras powered, and there's kind of difficulties there. So but it just means that you can input this signal that's really nice, high quality, and the A10 Mini will handle it. So while that might be a little bit of a, you know, an intense option for you, you could then, you know, game in 4K and play right through the A10 Mini. But this little guy has the same options. You know, the Avermedia, it's a 4K pass through. You get portable recording to a micro SD card. You can do that right here. It's powered by micro USB, so it doesn't even necessarily need to be plugged into your computer. It'll just like plug it into a power bank, and you can run that little thing. And it'll take any HDMI signal, so you can record anything. You know, if you're wanting to record a TV screen or something like that, it's a great option. How's it going, everyone on Instagram? We're getting a lot of waves in there. We're chatting about media production gear today, photo, video techniques, all that stuff. Ashley just put the product details in the chat. You can check that out for that Avermedia little 2 Plus 4K pass-through box. It's great. Works great for gaming, works great for media, all that stuff. Howdy there, God Bay Stan. We're seeing some good chats pop up, and it's nice to see everyone visiting us today. So what we're doing today, if you're just popping in, is an AMA work stream where you can ask me anything, or feel free to ask the chat anything about photo, video, media production. You ask that question, and I'll answer your question as best as I can. I'll talk about my experiences, but you're also encouraged to communicate with each other in the chats, talk about some different media experiences that you've had, and where you're from and all that stuff. I've got some points on the list that I wanted to talk about. The first one was the importance of live streaming, especially right now when a lot of us are stuck at home. We're all kind of cloistered in our little production zone, so we can get editing done, which is great. If we have a job that we can work on a computer. But for a lot of us, that means that we can't produce the same way that we could before. We have a lot of technology, a lot of nice cameras, all this stuff, but it makes it difficult to produce. So live streaming has been a good way for us to connect with all kinds of people. I just saw that chat pop in up there. I'm going to answer that question in a second. So live streaming is a great way to connect with a ton of people. Not only does it notify everyone who's following your page or following your group or whatever, but it gives people a hey, Nate Williams liked the stream, appreciate it. It gives people a way to interact with you directly. Like right there, Nate just he liked the stream, and so that gave us a little notification and a sound popped up. You on Instagram, you didn't quite see that yet. That's over on twitch.tv/ FCMG_stay, if I can say my link there right. There you can see the whole live stream setup that we have. We're gonna try and get it ported through Instagram soon, but Instagram is a whole nother story. Get it? Story. All right, so yeah, talking to your fan bases, your customers, everything like that through live streams can be huge. It can be a great way to connect with people on a person-to-person basis, and it can also be a good way to show off your skills, like this, like the Twitch and Facebook and YouTube community is seeing. It's a good example of like, okay, this guy's a nice camera, he's got a good audio system, he can do these things. So it's a good way to show off yourself, just personally as a producer. It's also a great way to connect with interesting communities that use the same kind of technology that you have, that have different experiences with it. So I've been learning all kinds of things with this. Like for instance, there's these Anso dummy battery things. These are fantastic if you're trying to power a mirrorless camera for a long time. A lot of these mirrorless cameras have issues where they start to overheat or things like that. Matt Griller, appreciate it. Where they start to overheat. So these dummy batteries, Robinson, good morning. These dummy batteries can help prevent your camera from overheating. You can plug in giant batteries to them and all this stuff, and they're relatively inexpensive. They're $25 to $40. You can find ones for $60 that have all kinds of USB ports and stuff. But there's all kinds of gear out there that can turn your equipment into something different. Like I never thought that I'd be able to use an A6400 as a webcam and shoot in f1.8. Like it's really nice being able to use a nice shallow depth of field and whatnot on your streams. Yeah, it's also a great advertisement tool. It's a great way to connect, and it's a great way to do this stuff from home. So if you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. There's a big boom in the industry right now, and a lot of people are doing this kind of thing. So it's a good time to just sort of try it out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't stick with you, it doesn't stick. If it's not something that you really like doing, it's not something you like doing. But it's a great way to share your expertise, share your experience, and share your outlook with the rest of your community. All right, we're gonna answer Owen's question really quick right here. If I run a game device through an external capture card, will software like OBS have a preview of the device? I only have one monitor with a single HDMI port, so I couldn't have the HDMI out of the card and also my PC visible together. Okay, so I think I understand what you mean there. There is a preview within OBS. Like right now, I'm streaming through a program called Streamlabs OBS, which connects with a service that lets you put on all kinds of overlays. That's why you're seeing this stuff down here and little notifications down there and whatnot. Instagram, again, if you check Twitch, that's where we are. FCMG_stay, and you'll see that interface that we're talking about. Streamlabs and OBS are very, very similar. Streamlabs literally uses OBS, which is open source software, to create their platform for you to stream. So we're really just using a modified version of OBS, but it gives you a preview. It does have a bit of a delay. So when you're looking at that preview, don't think that, I just said this and it's coming out delayed on the other end. There is an option to record. So do a little test recording. Check it out and see if it's going to, give you a delay or whatnot there. And then you can, if you are getting delays on like your audio, you can go in by device and actually set your what is that called? Latency. That's what it is. Yeah. So just set that up and test it out a couple times. Like I have a folder on my computer with probably 100 random little videos that do that. Wirecast is very similar also. Interesting. Okay, I've never actually used Wirecast. I've been hearing about Wirecast and streaming directly out of Restream, which is another service I wanted to talk about in a second. But I've never actually tried that out. I've used OBS a couple times before, and I've used Streamlabs OBS, obviously. Those are both desktop apps. There's also other platforms that you can use to stream. So like I'm streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram currently. Hello to everyone on Instagram and hello to everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So I'm streaming to that platform right now, but there's other platforms like Mixer. There's all kinds of things. And like when you start using a program like Streamlabs, where they have buttons for when you go to connect your streaming output, it'll say connect these accounts, and I had no idea there were that many streaming services. It's incredible, really. So there's great ways to connect with your audience through these live streaming services. Let's see what Matt Griller's commenting was here. Wirecast very similar. I work in live streaming and latency is a huge thing. Learning to set delay is a must. Absolutely, yeah. In television broadcast, a lot of you who work in television and broadcast media, you know that there's a mandatory live stream delay. So when you're streaming live to television, there is a broadcast delay. But when you're working in these programs as well, like I have a set delay with mine so that if my stream goes down for any reason, like if I lose connection, whatever, I think it's 10 seconds to get back on, and all you'll see is a little skip. Justin Lingenfelter, appreciate the like. This is awesome. It's great having all these friends pop in. Matt, I really appreciate your comments. You're definitely a resource in the industry. Matt and I have worked together on a couple of things with mostly concerning Sideshow. Like I was shooting a documentary for about Sideshow, and we're still working on this project. And he was there helping out in the background. He just happened to be there, but he was offering a hand, and it was really, really cool. We got to work for like 6 hours together, and then they had to head out. But it was really cool. We're filming a Sideshow and stunt instructional course for Harley Newman, which is a really interesting person. I'm sure we'll have him on the show at some point. After the quarantine and all that, we hope to have some guests on here. But otherwise, this show, the producer's log, is going to be every Monday around noon. Today we were a little bit late getting started, but hey, we've got 15 different different places that we're streaming to, and tons of people that we're chatting with. It's really, really cool to see everyone in the chats here and get everything set up and working. Thank you again to UXL for helping sponsor this podcast and this live stream and get this information out. I'm happy to chat with anyone about media stuff all the time. But we actually do have a plan coming up, which is interesting. I'm going to be releasing episodes with UXL's help about how to be a photographer, how to be a videographer, how to be a freelancer, how to be a what was the next one? Media producer, and then I think how to be an artist. So like how to do that thing for yourself after. And it's going to be a building series that we're going to start off with. Hello there on Instagram. I'm seeing a bunch of hellos. Just wanted to say that. But we're going to be doing this series together where we talk about the bare bones basics, starting with your cell phone, finding like a cell phone that you can use that's inexpensive to take photos, to take videos, how to edit them, how to put them together and all that stuff. And then we're going to work our way up to bigger cameras. Like we're going to talk about mirrorless cameras and equipment like this, like putting a cage on your camera, why and how they help out and all that stuff. And then we'll also get all the way up to broadcast stuff. So we'll be talking about, bigger cameras like cinema cameras and camcorders and whatnot, and how you can use those and improve your setups and whatnot. We got more comments from Matt coming in here. I'm going to take a sip of water, read this in a second so everyone on Instagram can see. Can hear. Ashley just corrected me. You're not going to be able to see the words that are coming out of my mouth. Anyway. All right. So Matt Griller types, we use a 30-second delay for our classes, so our clients do not see lapses in feed. We found 30 seconds gives us time to reconnect and reroute and not provide any stream breakage. We take a break hourly, so if we need to catch up on the delay by running a duplicate stream and matching title cards during the next break. That's really interesting. Okay, so basically you're setting a longer delay on your live broadcast, which you can do in Streamlabs, you can do it in OBS. And then you can use those to stream to Instagram. So you can set up these delays as well on social media accounts. Setting up a delay like that means that if your connection drops out, times out, anything like that, then you still have time to reconnect, and people won't actually see the break. They'll just see, like, it'll come up to a point, and then it'll switch over to your new stream that you've started, picking up again. Otherwise, if your delay is like mine, where I think I only have like a 10-second one set up right now, it doesn't give you a whole lot of time. But I'm sitting here with an Ethernet connection. I'm connected to a wall, so typically my interruptions are, split second. So if you're on a streaming device, like a mobile device or a cell phone, you might want that delay to be a little bit longer. So people might not be able to interact with you in real time, but they will have a consistent stream coming to them. My stream is a little bit like, we have the delay set to only 10 seconds because I want to be able to answer your questions and talk to you and be able to interact. Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, is much shorter than that. It's just like a second or two. It might even just be like 3 seconds. But it's really interesting to get into these different platforms, try out different ways of live streaming and getting this content out there and seeing how things work for you. Yeah, thank you, Matt Griller, for the comments. I appreciate that. You're definitely a good person to hear from. All right, so the series that we're going to be doing, those, we're going to be working our way up from photography, videography, media production in general, like just being a kind of generalist, or doing PA work on sets, like getting more into the industry. And then finally, we're going to go to freelancing, which is, doing this stuff for yourself, starting your own business or breaking out on your own. Things that you need to pay attention to, starting with the basics and then working our way up to the more extreme versions, where it's like, all right, you're going to set up a 4-camera multi-stream. Like, how are you going to do it on a budget of only X amount of dollars? But it's going to be fun. UXL is helping spread these episodes out, and we're going to be doing them every week on Mondays. This is the Producer's Log live stream. And as always, you're welcome to ask us anything and bring up any questions about media production, photo, video, stuff like that. We'll be making a series out of it, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. We got another question here, so let's see. Whenever hey, Ethan Goss Alexander liked the stream. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We got another question here from Owen. All right, previous Twitch streams I've had the video freezing every couple minutes while audio is uninterrupted. Okay. Other than that, the obvious answers of get better internet. Is there any advice on basic settings I might have missed configuring properly? Yeah, that does sound like a rendering issue. You might either have your encoding settings set too high, so you're trying to push a high bit rate out. Like the stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch is all 6,000 megabits per second. So that's a pretty fast connection. The one on Instagram is probably a little bit lower, so there's some different things that are kind of happening there. Like if I were to shake the camera around, you might see some refresh issues or things like that. But it could be also maybe you have your CPU forced as your rendering device, and it's not actually rendering through your GPU. If your output isn't coming from your graphics processor, then it's not going to have as much power as it would normally. I've run into these issues. Test some different settings. Check some. Here's an obvious answer, but there's YouTube videos on this stuff. But look around and see what other people are saying. There's a couple of different ways that those issues can crop up. I usually see lagged, dropped, or skipped frames. And those have different fixes every time. Like skipped frames means your camera is in like 1080-60 and your stream is in 1080-30. So you've got a whole lot more frames coming in than you're putting out, which makes it every now and then your computer goes and just like skips a whole bunch of them to get rid of them because they don't need it. Meanwhile, lagged frames are going to be let's see, like freezing every couple minutes. I think that might be lagged frames. Dropped frames are from connection issues typically or whatnot. But lagged frames can be rendering issues where your computer just isn't, processing quickly enough. So you can either change your settings within OBS. There are some ways to check between like different types of encoding. Your computer might be faster with some of them. If you lower that bit rate, it might put it within the acceptable range. Matt Griller has a comment here. Also, if the stream has a two-ways communication, it could be that your machine is trying to deal with incoming audio and video and to deal with the outgoing video. Yeah. So your in-out routing there might give you an issue. Like I'm using a little breakout box here. I'm using one of those Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, which is just a little dual XLR in, and then you get 2 1/4-inch outs in the back. Those are going to studio monitors over here, so I can hear myself and hear those notifications and all that. But my computer it's outputting to that box as well as outputting digitally into OBS. So it's doing a couple things at once. And if I didn't have this, monster machine that's back there, it probably wouldn't be able to handle the kind of streaming that we're doing right now. But as you can see, it's working out pretty well. It took a ton of testing to get it to the right spot. But really, like, my best advice is to try and fine tune those encoding settings. As Matt Griller said right over here, it sounds like a rendering issue. So it would be kind of software related. Maybe upgrading your hardware could help, but that's expensive. So I don't, recommend doing that as your first choice. Yeah, thanks Matt for the response. Thank you Owen for the question. It's always great chatting it up with people. As always, you can feel free to ask questions on these things. Instagram has been really hard to follow the chats. I'm getting waves, and it's good to see everyone. But you're always welcome to ask questions too. Ashley's going to be helping out to make sure that we get all our questions up here. Owen, okay, thanks so much. Your answers are thorough and helpful. Awesome. Hey, I appreciate it. That's really nice of you to say.
Yeah, nothing really on Instagram. Nice cool back.
Lovely. All right. So, next thing I kind of wanted to talk about, I wanted to get some, I actually wanted to ask you some questions. The only really question that I had was, we're all kind of professionals in different mediums. I'm sure we have wide variety of careers among us, among everyone who's watching. But specifically speaking to like the media producers, people that do graphics, web design, anything with cameras, anything with media in general. I'm curious how your career has changed in the past couple of months. I know for me, it's been a whole lot of work at home, obviously. I feel very fortunate that I can do work at home and I can do these live streams, and still connect with an audience and still, do work for pay, which is, it's key at a time like this. But there's ways that I feel like we can all share with each other that doing this sort of thing has changed our careers, but there's some kind of cool things that we've learned from it. Like for instance, I had no idea that you can multi-stream to a whole bunch of platforms. I was kind of testing out with it before, but finding ways to do an RTMP stream to Instagram, or just any link. You could do it to your website. Is really interesting because all of a sudden you realize, okay, I could have like a TV show, and the ideas start spinning off. So, for instance, I've been doing a lot more gaming streaming, which I love playing video games. I'm kind of a sucker for them. And I've been getting to test out a whole lot more video games because I've been sitting at home. But that's, obviously not going to be my bread and butter. Instead, what I've been doing is a whole lot of reviews on gears and equipment, whole lot of reviews on gear and equipment on Amazon, on eBay, on any platform where I purchase equipment. It can be a great method for you to go through to not only build rapport with the companies that you're buying equipment from and hopefully get better customer service and whatnot in the end, but you can also start getting offers for, hey, we need someone to review this piece of camera equipment. It's really been helping, we have no reviews on it so far and we need someone to do a review for us to get the sales ball rolling. They can sometimes send you a piece of equipment and offer to pay you back for that piece of equipment after you give a review. I've done that for a couple of places, but I have a strict policy of like, hey, listen, I'm either going to just send you comments and be like, listen, this thing's terrible, not do a review, and I still expect to be paid, or I'm going to leave a good review if I believe in this product. So there have been a bunch of things that I've been able to do reviews on, and the companies have been kind enough to send me a refund. But definitely try that medium out yourself. That's my kind of bit of advice for work at home stuff for everyone to do. Is this, let's see, I'm going to pull up my chat box here. This is Ashley. I've been working from home every day and work has actually ramped up. I'm a web designer, so I had to make so many updates to clients' websites to communicate how they are handling COVID-19 and help them adjust their business to the digital space. Working remotely, I'm sure that's a, this is Ashley back over here, who's writing this comment, but it's interesting to see how that happens. Like I kind of got the same sort of thing where I was doing some editing work for clients, and because I have tons of free time and because they have tons of free time, the expectation was like, all right, well, we're not really working in business hours. Vada Jones, I appreciate the like. That's very kind of you. If people kind of lose track of the business hours aspect of life at that point. So it's something where you have to kind of learn to, work your time and get a whole influx of work in and get it all done within these sudden time frames. Responding to quarantines and pandemics like this is definitely something that's going to upset all of our work. But we're hearing some interesting ways how that's changed people's work. I'd love to hear from you if you're in the chats. Let us know how things have changed in your work, how you've coped, and different ways that you've found to maintain working. That's important for all of us, and if we can share some insight with each other, I think that's a great way to make this forum a good, positive place. One of the other things that I've been doing from home a whole lot is, like I mentioned before, I've been doing gaming, but I've been getting into different platforms to connect with friends and colleagues. There's a company now that we use Slack as our method of communication. That's something I haven't used a whole bunch before. And now a ton of my friends are using Discord, which is a place where we can all hop on to a phone call together. We can chat and we can play video games, even if we're not playing the same game. So that's really cool. If you ever want to join in, by the way, our game streams are later on at night. They're usually in the evening on Sundays and on weeknights. And then that would be Twitch TV /FCMG_stay. We'd love to see you there because we always do these AMA things. I'm always happy to answer your questions about media and just kind of start a conversation. You can also message me on Instagram. It's at FCMG_stay. Once again, we're happy to chat about any type of gear and equipment that you would like to talk about. Let's see here. Let's looking at our list for other things to talk about here. So going through live stream equipment, seeing how your live streams can be monetizable for your business. Like I've been noticing a whole lot of people are doing yoga and workouts at home because a lot of personal trainers are not able to do work in the typical spaces that they've been doing them. Yoga instructors, martial arts instructors, musicians too have been hopping into the live stream game, and it's a really, really fantastic way to connect with your audience. And hopefully we've done a little bit of connecting today. That's just about all that I wanted to chat about with you today. Today was a big test. Mostly we wanted to see if this was a good platform and a good forum to start these conversations and these AMA work streams. Next time I'll be talking a little bit about photography. We'll be starting those actual content streams. So we'll be talking about how to get into photography and how to start using your camera on your phone and using the objects that you have for photography and to make it a little bit better. There's really creative things that you can do with CDs and mirrors and random crap that you find around the house. It's fantastic. But we're going to work up from there. We're going to get into some more professional, high-end, Photoshop editing and things like that. But we're going to build our way up, and we're going to have questions throughout from anyone who wants to ask them. So thank you for joining us. We're going to sign off for now. But join us again next Monday around noon. Today was a little bit late. It was around 12:30, but we'll be starting these streams around noon every Monday, and we'll hopefully see you back with another producer's log. We'll leave you on the stream ending, and when these go up on YouTube, that's going to be our, our little, you can click on the next link and all that stuff. But come check us out, Twitch TV /FCMG_stay. We'll be streaming again soon, and we'll be streaming video games tonight if you want to join us. Thanks for watching. Gonna end the stream. Peace.